Tryna pop a bottle off of your chain swing.
Okay, and now it's Andrew Cuomo. You know, it's like men can't be in the same room with a woman anymore without getting me too'd. You know, just don't sexually harass anybody. It's actually pretty simple. You can't open the door for a woman anymore. You can't give a coworker a lower back massage. I mean, yeah, those are two very different things. I just don't know. I mean, can I hug my mother? Can I ask the intern what color underwear she's wearing? See, you should know the difference there. Maybe if there was like a chart, you know, wait, can I compliment your shoes? Can I smell your cleavage? You know, who knows? Oh, you can't tell the difference between right or wrong. You know, if someone could just explain it to me. Well, we've been trying. I'm a good guy, you know, we're very touchy-feely where I'm from. It's nice, I mean no disrespect. Well, maybe you mean no disrespect, but thank you, you get it. See, you're one of the good ones. Okay, good talk.
What 2020 showed us is that in the face of mass death and harm, people will still disregard human life. Millions of people died as a result of COVID-19, and when asked to slightly alter their behavior to save the lives of others, people complained and resisted. What happened at Travis Scott's concert is like a kind of rippling effect of what's happening around this country, where people have become so desensitized to mass harm and death, where they do not care about their fellow human. People were obstructing paramedics from getting able to reach unconscious individuals. We're seeing disregard of human life on a massive scale.
There's just something about Madam Delta variant, the return of mask mandates, that reminds me of the day after you had a substitute teacher and you had the most fun that day and you thought, I can't believe we got away with this. And then your teacher comes back and goes, the sub left a note.
White people have not earned and should not have the privilege of adopting children of color, specifically Black children. And they have yet to do anything to this day to earn that privilege of adopting Black children. They should not be allowed to.
But since we're all gonna die, there's one more secret I feel I have to share with you. I did not care for The Godfather.
What?
Did not care for The Godfather.
How can you even say that, Dad?
Didn't like it.
Peter, it's so good. It's like the perfect movie.
This is what everyone always says. Whenever they say,
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, you never see... Robert Duvall!
No, fine actor. Did not like the movie. Why not? Couldn't get into it.
Explain yourself. What didn't you like about it?
It insists upon itself, Lois.
What?
It insists upon itself.
What does that even mean?
Because it has a valid point to make. It's insistent.
It takes forever getting in. You spend like 6.5 hours, and then, I can't even get through. I can't even finish the movie. I've never even seen the ending.
You've never seen the ending?
Well, how can you say you don't like it if you haven't even given it a chance?
I agree with Stewie. It's not really fair.
I have tried on 3 separate occasions to get through it, and I get to the scene where all the guys are sitting around on the easy chairs.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool.
Son!
So cool. So cool.
Shut the fuck up, son!
I'ma run it to the limit and me on my way to Venice. LA got the people saying.
That's very interesting. But what do we do about the gays? I mean, how do we get rid of them?
Let's talk about Route 66. Established in 1926, it stretched over 2,000 miles and was nicknamed the Main Street of America. It was one of the first highways to stretch diagonally and went all the way from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California. But there were a lot of problems with Route 66. It was marketed as the pathway to opportunity. There was the Great Depression for white people, and then on top of that, there was also segregation and Jim Crow for black people. So Route 66 was used as a way to get from point A to point B. But a lot of people, black people, assumed that the West was safer than the South, when that wasn't always the case. Route 66 was filled with small cities, small towns, and there was less land development, so there was not a lot of room for there to be help or opportunity if you should need it. Out of the 89 counties that made up Route 66, it was estimated that 44 out of those 89 counties were sundown counties. In short, Route 66 was a super vulnerable pathway for black Americans. It meant having a plan, a cover story, or even a disguise. A lot of black men, like I said, would wear chauffeurs' hats. Black motorists who drove nice cars were especially susceptible to regular harassment by law enforcement, because black people who drove expensive cars offended white sensibilities. Every mile on Route 66 was considered a minefield. There were white businesses galore that had 3 Ks in the titles. Cozy Cottage Camp, Clean Country Cottages. These were code for the Ku Klux Klan and only served white customers. So while it provided a lot of opportunity, it just ended up being yet another ginormous monstrosity of a problem for black people in the 20th century.
Whenever I post a video complaining about white people, there will always be at least one European that's like, why do you guys act like all white people are American? Why do you act like everything's about you? Do I fucking sound like I'm from Britain? Do I sound British to you? No, I'm American. So when I talk about white people, I'm talking about mine. My white people. They're mine. Why don't you just zip up that little red coat and go get dysentery on some wooden ship? Why don't you do the proper European thing of being whisked away at sea by a siren song? That's like the dumbest thing to complain about. That I didn't consider Europeans in my complaints about white people, and now I'm complaining about you complaining about that. Now we both look dumb. We both look stupid. And also, do you think you're any different than my white people? You think you're different? You think you're cool? Just because you eat some of the worst dishes conceived by mankind, huh? You eat something called Willy Wumps, and it's just raw clams and dirty pennies mixed together. You think that makes you better? My white people have your blood running through their veins. This is all your DNA right over here. My white people wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for you. And I wouldn't be dealing with my white people right now if it wasn't for you. So now it's twice your fault. I'm blaming you twice as much now. So that's where this has gotten us. And it's always the British. I never see the Swedish complain.
My favorite game. Let's cut it open and see what's inside. It could be chocolate. It could be meat. It could be apples. It could be a Ford F-150. Let's take a look. Oh, it's rice.
I am so tired of catering to cis people's feelings. Because I do. I do it every time I go to a restaurant and the server says, "Hi, ladies," and I don't correct them. Every time I choose the women's washroom because people expect that of me and it makes them comfortable. Every time I go to the grocery store and ignore being called miss or ma'am. Every time a close friend misgenders me and my immediate response is to say, "No, it's okay as long as you're trying." It's not okay. And I'm not okay, because in order for any of you to even entertain the idea of respecting my existence, I have to water down all of my emotions lest I live up to the whiny crybabies trans stereotype that you all have in your heads. Because God forbid you take someone seriously when they are showing valid emotion.
You have a Polaroid camera and you snap a beautiful picture and the gray photo prints out the front. You hold it and shake it, waiting for the picture to appear. But suddenly someone walks by and snatches your photo, ripping it to shreds. You're stunned. You cry, "Why did you destroy my picture?" The person replies, "Oh, it wasn't a picture. It wasn't fully developed yet."
Patriarchy shames women for being sexual, and capitalism sexualizes women. And the fact that capitalism is also operated by patriarchy tells us something really important. Women's sexuality is viewed as a resource, a profitable one. So patriarchy shames women for owning it because men want to be the ones that capitalize on it.
I've never seen anyone fuck up a meme format this badly. So you're gonna be a pedophile for fall?
You guys, I'm worried about Chris Pratt. He went to bed upset and depressed following all the backlash from his weird Instagram post. But that's not why I'm worried. Read the article. I knew that if I put on my Christian music playlist and I got out of the woods and ran that I'd feel better, but I just didn't want to. And I did it anyways, and gosh, was I right. It felt amazing. I got out of the woods, got my blood pumping. I don't get emotional very often, but that moment, it really captured me. And so I just want to say, all glory to God. So that alone, cringe. But then it goes on to explain how basically it was really shady that he said, "Oh, and my wife gave me a healthy daughter," when his son has a lot of disabilities and whatnot. And they just acknowledge that. He never apologizes, never does anything. Because God says it's okay, I guess. What a dick.
Whenever I hear something that I generally dislike, I just assume it's a psyop. Because only the state would want me to have a miserable time on earth.
Abortions, just don't get one. Okay? If you don't like vaccines, don't get one.
Want to see me dismantle this entire argument with one sentence? Okay, here I go. Abortions are not contagious.
seem to be having a lot of feelings right now.
And you seem to want my fist in your face. So that's why I'm trying to say, fuck you.
This is just your friendly reminder that right-wing violence has given society things like the Nazi Party and the KKK, whereas left-wing violence has given society, among other things, the civil rights and labor rights movement, child labor laws, and women's suffrage. Have a great day, everyone.
If you like smoking weed, let me hear you say hell yeah. Gotcha. Get these motherfuckers.